It's day 21 of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Here are some key updates so far. Now, Russia says its forces have taken full control of the southern region of Kherson as Ukraine reported 19 people were killed in an attack on a TV tower in Rivne. Air raid sirens have gone off in several major cities, including Kyiv, Odesa, Dnipro, and Lviv. Although, according to Ukrainian presidential advisor Oleksiy Arestovych, armed forces are conducting small-scale counterattacks on several fronts, and Russian troops have not been able to gain ground because of a lack of resources. Ukraine says Russia's Major General Oleksiy, a 46-year-old, was killed during the storming of Mariupol. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in a video address to the nation, says Russia's demands were becoming more realistic, with peace talks to resume later in the day. This is as Russian Foreign Minister says he believes there were already positions upon which the sides are close to agreement. Lavrov says Ukraine's political and military neutrality in exchange for security guarantees from Moscow were now being seriously discussed. And then Ukraine's President Zelensky will deliver a virtual address to the U.S. Congress later today as Russian forces inch toward Kyiv. This comes after delegations, including the Prime Ministers of Poland and Czech Republic and Slovenia, arrived in Poland after their visits to Kyiv. The White House also announced that U.S. President Joe Biden will make his first visit to Europe since Russia invaded Ukraine to discuss the crisis with NATO allies next week. Mr. Zelensky says Ukraine may seek security guarantees from the West that fall short of NATO membership, a possible path to a compromise. Ukraine's president also thanked the Prime Ministers of Poland, the Czech Republic and Slovenia for their visits to Kyiv for talks. And there has been an increase on the death of civilians since the weekend, with the United Nations Human Rights Office confirming the civilian toll in Ukraine at 691 killed and 1,143 wounded, adding that the true figures were probably considerably higher. According to Mr. Zelensky, 97 Ukrainian children have died since the invasion began. That about 3 million people have fled Ukraine, nearly half of them children. About 1.8 million are now in Poland and some 300,000 in Western Europe. Although about 2,000 cars have left the besieged port city of Mariupol, Ukraine has accused Russia of blocking a convoy trying to take supplies. Convoys of more than 100 buses ferrying civilians have left the besieged northeastern city of Sumy, the Red Cross says. And then, as the international community tries to continue to put pressure on Russia over her invasion of Ukraine, the U.S. has imposed more sanctions on Russians accused of human rights violations and slapped new measures on the Belarusian president. Russia retaliated by sanctioning U.S. President Joe Biden, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and others.